Alrighty dighty, Vicki Ross here, journaling by fives. This is my third journal, and what I like to do is I've already filmed my first 5 steps that were timed, and my excuse me, my free play, I just take my time and I don't film it. So I finished my free play. I took out extra pages that were in the back and found a piece of paper, and if y'all will remember, this was the plastic cover I got for 28 cents. It was the 3-year-old calendar thing I got from Hobby Lobby for 28 cents. I found a piece of paper in my stash that kind of went with all the pinks and oranges and yellows in here. And again, this is a book with a binding. And I have glued it. It's got one of the cone bindings, so I just wrapped the paper around it with the book like this and put matte medium on it and glued it down. Now it's still a little bit damp. I've got about 1/8 of an inch. Well, here I don't, but on the front I have about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch all the way around. Didn't do it straight, don't care. So I've clamped it and let it dry. I'm going to give it another hit with the heat gun, and then I'll be back and show you what I'm going to do now. Alrighty, I'm back. I already have some grunge from the desktop on this, and that's okay. I don't care about that either. I'm dry enough. I'm taking my little Tim Holtz. I love these clips. So if you find them, and Hobby Lobby has had some, get yourself a couple of sets because they're nice, they're small, and I clip them right here on the wire rack on the edge just beside me, so I always know where they are. Here's an oddball. I keep a couple of those small ones there too. Okie dokie. I don't really have a plan, which is sometimes good and sometimes not. I have enough to turn in, but I don't have enough to really make it sturdy. So first thing I'm going to do is turn it in and glue it down. I'm going to crease it. Let me get a bone folder. I don't see one, but I see a palette knife. That'll work. I'm going to clip this paper right here, even with the paper on the, or the holes on the cover on that plastic, and we'll address that later. I'm going to fold this up. Sure wish I could find my bone folder. And that's such a little amount of paper, I'm just going to fold it. I'm not going to worry about mitering the corners or anything like that, because this is all going to have to be covered. And as I've told you guys in all the previous videos, what I have learned from journaling by fives is how to relax, play, and have fun. I'm not entering a scrapbook competition or a journaling by fives competition. I don't have to be perfect, and Victoria can just take a hike and go somewhere else for the day, because this is just fun. Just for fun. You hear that, guys? Just for fun. And another thing I've learned from Shannon is that she just does these books for herself. Sometimes she likes to go back and look through them because it makes her smile. And in all honesty, there are days when I do need to just have something to smile about. I'm not complaining. Nothing's wrong. But some days it's kind of fun just to look back on your journey, see where you are, put that book on the shelf, finished out nicely. Put it on the shelf, and then you can come back and look at it anytime you want to, just because you want to. Now, I have a decision to make. I can glue that down, and I think I will. But then I'm going to come back with some tape and do a binding, an edge tape, fold it over both sides. So let me get my Deco Art matte medium. I had to open a new jar. This is my go-to matte medium now. I'm just using my finger to put it on. Because I've always got my fingers with me. And this is just going to hopefully hold this little snippet of scrap paper in place until I can, so that it'll make it easier for me to put the tape edge on it. Come on now. Helps if that stuff sets up just a minute before you start trying to make it stay down. My hands are so dirty. I have to always remember to wash them if I go fold some laundry like I've got to do here in a little bit. Just get that down so it can be managed for the next step, whatever that step may be. That's all I want to do. And I barely had any here. Okay. Hit it with the heat gun. Don't melt the plastic cover. And I think I better put something there to keep it from, I don't know what that was. Okay, this time I'm going to be smarter. I'm going to go all the way around this edge first. Okie dokie. I started out plundering around looking for duct tape, or narrow duct tape, and couldn't find any. So I decided that since this was probably going to get a good coat matte medium anyway, it didn't really matter if it was paper tape. And my grand experiment with the matte medium didn't really stick and hold that well, but we're going to make it work. I picked out this is a Scotch tape brand, and I've been underwhelmed with the way this sticks, even their plasticky duct tape version. So what I better do is turn it to the front and try to get it centered. That's going to be fun and games. How am I best going to do this? And all of a sudden, my cover is too small. What? Well, guess what, guys? That ain't gonna work. I think I'm going to have to cut right down the spine. Because for some reason my paper, even though I was keeping that in mind when I did it, feels like it has shrunk. See, my paper was holding it. So we're going to fold that back just a little bit. We're going to trim it off. I'm leaving this in here so that you guys can kind of hear my thought process. Such as it is. Okay, it's going to be covered with tape. Okay, that's better. I mean, yeah, I know we're not supposed to be stressing over things like details and neatness, but now I'm going to leave just about 1/4 of an inch to turn under. Okay, that works. I found my bone folder. Color on that tape is not too bad. And now I'll get a piece going. This stuff is really sticky. It should be better tape. I'm just going to try to get... Okay, that's pretty good. Pretty good. And I could round these corners, but none of these are rounded, and I don't really think I want to go through that. Okay. Now trim that off. barely covered my, splitting that tape in half like that, I barely covered the edge of the paper on the inside. So we'll do something to fix that. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a piece of paper on the inside cover or not, which would take care of that. Pretty good. Side-eye, side-eye. Well, I really did a cut job on that one. But watch this. Hold my beer and watch this shit. Ta-da! Can't even tell. Pretty good. Nope. Better. Need to clean off my desk. Not too bad. Alright, come back and put another piece on the inside cover. You know, the bad thing about craft hoarding is you buy this stuff, and you shop, and you pick it up every time you see some by the checkout counter. and then you don't want to use it up. I am so bad about that. Okay, I feel better about that. That's going to hold better. So what if I'm using 2 strips of tape? So what? I mean, after all, I'm making my journals out of junk. Doesn't that count for something? Okay. That be the back cover. Let me find something, I'll be right back. Alright, I've been searching for something, a label. I used a tag with the Deco Art stencil on my last book, and look what I found. It looks kind of like a tag, but it's a window, and this is the paper casting I did with a Stencil Girl stencil. This particular one was by Seth Apter, and I think that might be really good. And then I've got these Tim Holtz little stickers I can put in there. Perfect. If I want to add a little accent. I think I'm going to go around that. I'm not even planning this. I promise. I'm going to go around this with, check it first. That is definitely hot pink, and I definitely don't want hot pink, especially since I used it. Let's see what Fireberry is. I used the hot pink in the book. That's better. This is a color box. Okay, move that out of the way. I don't particularly like the way it's, but that's okay. What I started to say was, I don't particularly like the way it has that shape, but it's okay. It's okay. Look at there, look at there. You're not gonna be cute. Cute. Alright, modeling paste. I've got some sitting right there. The way this was made was that I just kept adding single ply layers of toilet paper face down on that stencil. So I don't really have too much of a modeling paste problem like you do with embossed papers. So I'm just going to slap that sucker down. Do I want it curved? Nope. I think I want it square to the world. Okie doke. Palette knife. I'm just going to use the matte medium. I don't need the extra hold. I don't think. And this is one of those things that I've caught myself saving. And I don't know what for. It stems back to being our parents, my age group anyway, being from an environment where they didn't have anything. And I think we caught that. And those edges are so thin and papery, they're going to stick down really, really good. But I am going to put something on top of it so that my sticky fingers don't pull something up that I don't want pulled up. Very lightly burnish. Very lightly burnish. Voila. Oh, voila. I'm still being a little bit careful with that embossed design because I don't want to push it down. Stick. May not have enough matte medium right there. That is such delicate paper. Toilet paper. What do you expect? But it is very organic. And I love that. I may have to make some more of those. Cool, cool, cool. There's another puffed up spot. And I've got to get out of it and quit worrying about puffed up spots because the paper is beginning to dissolve. In fact, that puffiness might be caused from the fact that I put it together with water and not matte medium. There's a method where you do paper casting with toilet paper and use matte medium between your layers. I just sprayed water on it. So I'm going to let that sit, hit it with a dryer just a little bit, and then I'll be back. Hey, I'm back. I told you I would be. I say a lot. I love the way this turned out. Went in with a Tim Holtz Ideology vial labels, or what they're called, and went with a black one for that. I think I'll probably go with black ink, I think. And I also pulled the original Seth Apter stencil. It's this one. You can't see it. Can you see it there? Yeah, sorta. Yeah, sorta. And I think I'm going to use that. Secret proof. Oh, look! Look at those dotty circles. That'll be cool. Now, do I want to do them in red or black? Everybody vote. Hold up your hand. Red or black? Well, that's the wrong drawer. Color box back out. This one is Petal Point Classic. And I'm going to put one of those right over that flower. This is the same color I used. Don't you just love happy accidents? Kind of a grungy. I'm going to go ahead and put that line there too. Look how neat. Neat, neat. Alright, so that won't show up back there. I have some of these I bought at Hobby Lobby, and they're color box mixed media, and these lids are absolutely worthless. They just sit there, and I end up with the lid being off, and there's no screw top, nothing. But they're still very wet, so I'll give them that. I'm going to put this stencil back here. That was my complaint for the day. Of course, that may be why they were on the sale rack at Tuesday. Woo! Excuse me. Or as my husband likes to say, you are so good looking. Don't ask me why. Anyway, that's probably why these were on sale. Because they found out they didn't work. Voila. I like it a lot. I mean, they should snap or something. Okay, we're not going to solve that problem today. Okay, perfect grungy. I like a lot. And there's the other side. Now to decide what to use. How about a red Sharpie? No. No. I've got this. That works. This is, I was in a subscription called Art Snacks, and every month they sent usually around $35, $25 to $30 worth of products, just an assortment, and you paid $20 a month, so you always got your money's worth. Anyway, this was one of the things that came in it, and I thought it was supposed to be a brush tip marker, but Hobby Lobby's selling them, so. Alright, what do I want to put? Journaling. And I'm prepared for it to bleed, because this is raw paper. trying to spell it right. See, this is my third. Okay. There you have it, sports fans. Now I'm going to give this a couple of coats. There's the back cover. I like it a lot. Do you want to run through? And then I'm going to give this a couple of coats of matte medium to seal all this stuff on the cover, even the tape. And for now, I'm not going to put a front page in here. I don't think I'm going to have to. And I like seeing the colors. Okay, here's the quick flip. Turn my other light on so it won't be so blue. In the very beginning, this journal started with warm colors. So I kind of stayed with that throughout. Just added a few touches of other color. This was my embossing paper, and it worked pretty good. Probably a cardstock would have held the embossing better. But you can see it. I did put modeling paste underneath it, thinking that it would keep it from squishing. Some of these didn't really hold a whole lot of interest for me, so basically I just went back in, and this was my free play, so I didn't have to have a timer, and I'm just playing with materials. That's really all I'm doing. I added some stickers in here. This is really the kind of collage I want to start doing. This is, my brain's fried today. Tisha Moore. This looks like she used one of her doodles. And then a face cut out. And then she put a fan on top of the face, on top of the head, and an egg on top of the fan. No real reason for it, but when I got to this stage, I had, I think you say that, Femmes, anyway. I'm twisted, so I wrote Feminum instead of feminine. Feminum. This is my deli paper that I get at Smashburgers. And so I put eyes, and this was on there from the step 4. This makes no sense whatsoever. Mine and a picture of a mom. Like I said, it makes no sense whatsoever, but it doesn't really have to. I did try to go back on a lot of the pages and put some ink around the edges to kind of tie it together. Size matters. Here's a sailboat. We're not talking about anything sexual here. This isn't Sexual Healing 101. I love my boat. You know, nothing. Drew some waves in. By the way, I love this Sharpie turquoise oil-based pen. It's really got some. It's shiny. That's a good pen. I thought that was a water-based, but it's not. Just some more doodling. Here's a crown that I cut out from my I put a magazine on top. That's not good. This was my Tim Holtz embossing folder I bought with the patchwork, and I cut the crown out of it and put it here. And again, the texture from the paper kind of, the embossing kind of went away when the paper got wet. And Shannon Green and I were cutting up the other day on YouTube, commenting, and She said to include the word 10, T-E-N, in your comment if you wanted to be entered for a drawing. So I asked her if it was too late and said I am a 10. Of course, the drawing was a year ago. So I told her she could call me her 10ness anytime she wanted to, so that ended up in here. Wear the crown with attitude. This says, why is there a sunflower growing out of my head? It doesn't mean anything. Didn't do anything much to this one, just some more doodling. Can you see me now? No, because you got a mask on, silly. Couldn't think of anything to do on that, so I just didn't do anything. This one I added a cigar label and some red, some more red. Not much. Jules, our girl's best friend. Did quite a bit more doodling on that page. Fly me away, it's about dreams. Woohoo. Break me off a big old piece of that, Cinderella. How does that work out for you? Good morning, sunshine. Can you hear me now? Life is a gift. That's a nice quote. The secret of contentment is the realization that life is a gift, not a right. And this came from one of the printables on Art Tisha Moore's. It's not her lettering. I love this kind of lettering though, so you can probably look to see some of that one of these days. Another cigar label. That's one thing we have in abundance here. This came from a cigar magazine. Nothing much there. And that's the end. So I will stamp it. Get out my StazOn. Black StazOn. There it is. I need to add some, first thing I'm going to do is add some alcohol ink. Some of the blending solution. I've got some here, alcohol blending solution, in this water pen. And Lindsay Wyrick over at the Frugal Crafter said that when your pads get dry, sometimes they just need to be reactivated. And that's coming out the top. So obviously I'm getting some. See, because I'm getting black. Sometimes it's not necessarily out of ink, but it is just dry. And the other thing she said was that if you look here on the edge, when it starts to get light toward the bottom means it needs to be re-inked. So I did get a re-inker, but I haven't done it yet. So we're going to see how good the... Oops, set the date, silly. September the what? $10. So we need a 1 right here. And a 10. There we go. I think, did it get a good... Let's get that little pin back out. Where did you put it? I just had that pen. Here it is. Put it in wrong end. There, just patch that a little bit. Journal 3. There you go. Now put it in inside out so you can tell. Alright guys, that's it. Ta-da! Number 3. Now I'm doing pretty good for somebody that had never put a journal together until a couple months ago. So journaling by fives has been really good for me in a lot of different ways. Over and out. See you later.